everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of My Mom Sandy. We are your hosts. I am Josh Fasten, and this woman next to me who's splitting the iced tea and coffee is my mom, Sandy.
Yeah, it's a busy morning. Hello, everybody. How's it all going? Or how is it going for you all? How's that? Better?
I thought they both sounded really good.
Really good? Okay, really good. So what's up, Josh?
Is this... Yeah, this is episode 12. I always get... Whenever we do an episode, I always think I'm going to missay the number, and then I'm going to have to go back and be like, oh, that wasn't the one. That wasn't it.
Yeah, but you usually ask me before we go on what episode, and I told you.
You said 12.
I said 12. I know 12. I'm not stupid. What was that?
It was a cough. It was a cough. I didn't
Where's
hit the
our
cough button. I moved away.
I know. What the hell? We need a cough button.
So, quickly, we have some housekeeping. You had some stuff that you wanted to talk about, and then I have a experiment that our friend Jenny, who is a listener of the show, did you take notes?
I did. I jotted down some notes yesterday.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, no, I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
I love going first.
I know you do.
It makes me feel important. Anyway, okay, so first off, Nancy Neighbors in Paris, and her assignment while there was to check out the pronunciation of Google, which we like to refer to as Google, because we actually think that that's how they say it in France. But guess what? Wrong. They don't say it that way. They say it like we do, Google. And
I think that's the first time on the show that you've ever said Google.
And she said the gal that she asked was very clear about how it was said, and that she was a techie. So I guess we're going to have to just go with that. To be honest with you, I just think that's stupid.
Did the woman she asked, was the woman who she asked French?
Oui. I almost went Spanish on you. I almost said si. Oui. Yes.
She was French.
She was French.
All right. Well,
yes. So anyway, so that's that.
So does that change how you say it now?
No, I still like the Google. Although it does take longer to say. Josh, Google it, please.
Do you think Google takes longer to say than Google?
I think so.
How many people do you think were sitting around a table just high as a kite being like, what do we call this search engine? It's like, oh, fucking Google. Google.
It was funny last night on the 90 Day Fiancé, there's a show called Pillow Talk afterwards. For those of you who watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about, but the gal, she's from Thailand, and she's married an American, and she lives here with him. And at the end of the show, he's like, well, I'm going to go brush my teeth. And she goes, well, make sure you Google. And he goes, you mean gargle? She goes, yeah, gargle. She was
goggle.
Goggle. But it was like...
Well, goggle is something... Goggles are what you wear when you go in the pool.
That's right. You should know. You wear those with water wings.
So, I do. So there's
they go hand in hand.
So there's a difference between Google, gargle, and goggles.
Goggles. Yeah, let's not talk about all that. That's crazy.
Could you imagine if you were on the computer Googling something while gargling wearing goggles?
Oh, wow. It would be the 3 Gs. The 3 Gs.
And you know what else the 3 Gs were? That was our murder podcast. Gross, ghastly, and gruesome.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Gross was in there and gruesome, but I don't know if ghastly was in there. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not important.
All right. So Google is not Google in France.
No, in France, I know. Go figure.
So is that going to change the way that you say it?
No, I already told you
I already asked that.
Yeah.
That was a repeat question.
No, it will not. I'll say it the way I want to say it. Whichever way it comes out, it'll come out.
Okay. Usually that's how that works.
So, I know.
So is that going to change the way that you say it? Oh, God.
You make me choke on my my coffee. Where's my cough button?
Are you okay?
Yeah, but how many times you want to ask me that question?
I thought.
Wait till I get a mouthful of coffee and then ask it for the third time?
Well, I thought that it would be funny if I asked it again and then coffee came out of your nose, and then
No, it would have just like squirted across the table. I wouldn't have let it go out my nose.
And then you kind of made a face, and I said, "Oh my God, I might have just killed my mom."
I know.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
No, that doesn't make me happy.
All right, so let's go on with our housekeeping. House cleaning, housekeeping, whatever.
Cleaning house.
Cleaning house, baby. So last week we talked about
My fingers smell like bleach.
Why is that?
Because I put bleach in the toilet upstairs.
Well, not bleach. You put toilet cleaner in there.
Yeah, but it's Clorox with bleach toilet cleaner.
Yeah.
You want to smell them?
No, but why would it be on your hands? Oh, because you probably turned that.
Turn the tip cap.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you should wash your hands more
I did.
often. Oh, well, the bleach smell will stay. It's all right. It's clean.
It smells clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, continue.
Okay, so last week we talked about the dollhouse. It has found its place, its new home.
With the granddaughter of...
Well, it hasn't gone to her yet. They're going to give it to her, I guess her birthday's this week, and they're going to give it to her in a month. They're going to like paint it and fix it up.
Oh, they're going to do it all for her.
And yeah, and I think, because Susan said that she was online looking at patio furniture. So Susan's going to be able to have fun.
You guys are fucking crazy.
No, see, we're not. And that's the thing that I wanted to mention is that her son, who said that the dollhouse is beautiful, well, his name is Perry. I'm going to refer to him by name today because here's a shout out to Perry. Because what Perry said to you.
Is Perry listening?
He will be.
Okay.
He's not listening right now, but he will. He does listen. And on top of that, if Perry listens, maybe Perry's friends will listen. So anyway, what he said about, because I told you that he thought the dollhouse was beautiful and you were kind of poo-pooing that.
No, I didn't poo-poo anything, actually. You said he's not gay, which I didn't even...
But then you said, is he an architect? Is he an interior designer?
Right, those were real questions. I wasn't trying to poo-poo him. No, wasn't doing that.
So...
I was curious, because if he was an architect and the dollhouse was like really well built, then that would have made sense as to why he was like, wow, this dollhouse is beautiful.
He did listen to the podcast, and here's what he said. He said, I appreciate...
A good dollhouse.
No, I appreciate and love beautiful women, beautiful architecture, and beautiful dollhouses. Because he said the dollhouse was beautiful. So...
should we make a shirt that says, it's a My Mom Sandy shirt, and it says... We appreciate beautiful women, beautiful architecture, and beautiful dollhouses.
I don't think we need to do that. I don't think that would be a big seller. I think the ketchup taco one would be better.
Perry should run for president on that platform.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Perry. He likes the dollhouse.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Perry.
Well, you're kind of insinuating it.
I'm not insinuating anything. I asked real questions last episode about do we know what he does for work?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And it probably wouldn't be appropriate to mention it anyway.
What he does for work?
Yeah.
Because?
Well, because we don't want people seeking him out and,
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to...
I mean, we kind of went into this whole thing about not mentioning people's names when we were doing our podcast before we started. And
we are.
But here's the thing, is people love the shout outs. Like, for instance...
Wait, okay, hold on, but I don't want to get off this yet. I'm not saying that, like...
Back to Perry.
Right, I'm just saying if Perry worked... And I know Perry doesn't do this, but if Perry worked at a Best Buy, we don't have to say, oh... Perry works at Best Buy in El Segundo.
Well,
we could say Perry is a technology assistant.
All right, he's in the service industry. How's that?
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to know. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay,
I know what he does.
Oh, so, but you're just not telling. Do you want to write it down so I can see?
No,
I don't get to know. You're going to hold this information hostage.
I don't think it's important.
Okay,
I don't think it should make any one bit of difference as to his comments about beautiful women, beautiful architecture, and beautiful dollhouses. Listen, I think here's the point. I think there's more people, and maybe we should take a poll on Instagram or.
The poll that we should take is get everyone over to our iTunes account and actually give us ratings. Because if we had enough ratings, if we had all the ratings from the people that listen, there's far more listeners than there are ratings.
I know. What's up with that?
I know.
How hard is that to like push a button?
Yeah, or follow us on...
Although I will say this, that there was one time when I was going to rate something on my phone and accidentally, like it only lit up like 1 star and then it said thank you for your rating.
Oh, you gave them a 1 star. Us?
No, it wasn't us. Number 1 and number 2 was somebody else. But I meant to do 5 stars and only 1 star. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. But I think I'd already rated that thing before. And so I don't think it
was this another podcast?
No.
What were you rating?
I was rating my experience with clothing from Macy's, purchased at Macy's.
5-star?
Well, apparently it turned out to be a 1-star. Then when it asked for comments, I decided I wasn't going to write any. I'll really blow their minds.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything bad about Perry. I'm simply curious as to what he does for a living and
service industry.
And I think it's great that he likes women, architecture, and dollhouses.
And beautiful women.
Oh, he doesn't like ugly women.
Well, he might like them, but he probably doesn't date them.
All right.
He's not married, so. All right. So, and speaking of shout outs, I also spoke to my friend. I spoke to Mikey D in New York. Hey,
East
shout
Coast
out.
Listener.
He loves it when we shout out to him. So there's a shout out to you, Mikey D.
You know, there's a late night talk show. It's not Conan, but Jimmy Fallon, I don't know. One of the late night talk shows, they always, the wrap up line, he always goes, "Oh, thanks everyone for watching tonight. My apologies to Matt Damon for we didn't have enough time. We couldn't get to you."
That's what he says every night?
Every night. It's
or does he change the actor?
It's, what's the guy? No, it's always Matt Damon. It's, what's the talk show guy that used to date,
David Letterman?
Nope, that's not him. Used to date
Johnny Carson?
Nope, that's not him. Used to date Sarah Silverman.
I don't know.
Jimmy Elliott?
Fallon?
No, it's not Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy.
There's not another one named Jimmy.
I bet you there is.
I don't know.
He lives in Manhattan Beach.
I don't really care. I don't listen to. I don't.
All right. So anyway,
I watch Mom late night.
Okay. So what I was going to say was that every episode at the no, not Michael Sheen. That's definitely not him. Jimmy Kimmel. There's another Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
What did I say? Jimmy Elliott? That's not even a person.
Jimmy Elliott. I know. It's like, who the hell's that?
What was I was going to say? Like, at the end of every episode, we could always be like, oh, and shout out to Mike D, East Coast, representing.
We could.
Anyway, so Mike D loves the shout outs. Mikey.
He loves the podcast, and it was really nice talking to him. I just want to say, for those of you who haven't listened to all of our episodes or who listened to it at double time and seem to miss half of it, Mikey D is the son of my friend Lisa, who passed away in June, of this year. And she was my best friend. You know, I figure we probably known each other for like 25 years.
Yeah, and me and Mike grew up. I mean, we played on the same roller hockey team. Yeah. We never played on the same ice hockey team because I think he was better than you. He was better than me. I mean, I'm man enough to admit that. Yeah, he was a goalie. He was a great goalie. He was a great ice hockey player. He was much better than me.
Yeah.
And then we used to like skateboard and stuff together, and I think like play video games and kind of listen to music.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I did Beanie Babies with Lisa. I did all things hockey, you know, Kings games, Tippecanoe, sports memorabilia shows, collecting autographs, collecting hockey cards. I don't know if you remember, they had that wall in their house that had had a bunch of Kings photos, autograph photos.
Yeah. Oh, they were a hockey family.
Luc Robitaille, Wayne Gretzky, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and she was with me when I met the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I'll tell you about that one day. But
what did you say to him?
I said, it's a pleasure meeting you. It's a pleasure. I don't know what I was like awestruck. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Didn't you lick his face afterwards?
Yeah, I gave him a big friggin' kiss. And, no, I didn't do that. But I would have liked to, probably back in the day.
Give him an old kiss on the lips?
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say, I just want to finish up with Lisa, because I do have a point to this. And I guess the point is that, you know, Lisa and I weren't always, we were close at different times in our lives, and I hadn't seen her for years. But her and I we texted each other quite often, especially when the Kings won their Stanley Cups. We were like, you know, both watching the games at the same time. And, you know, so that was always fun. But when we did talk, we would speak for 2 or 3 hours. So, and we talked about everything. So, and she was the kind of person that I could say and talk about anything with. And I just want to say that if you have friends like that in your life, hold them close. They're precious. And you don't know, you don't know how long it's going to be till you don't have them in your life. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's super valid. I think that's one of those things that you're right. Like, I always read these things where it's like, tell people how you really feel and,
and then we, we're really keen on that for a while and then we forget about it.
Well, things get comfortable, and I think that, day-to-day life goes on, and I think the speed of which life happens now, I think people sometimes forget to stop and smell the roses and pay attention to those relationships that they have, whether it's a spouse, a partner, a friend, a family member, I mean, I remember even when when my grandpa passed, there was one of those things that I wish that I had spent, and me and him spent a lot of time together, and I was really happy that we spent all that time together, but, I guess, I don't know, it's never enough, right? Like, it's never enough.
I think when somebody's gone, it's never enough. And you don't realize it. And on top of that, like with Lisa, I just feel like, see, I'm going to start crying now.
Well, don't start crying.
I just feel like, missing her isn't just something I do today. It's going to be something that's going to go on for years because there's things that I'll go through in my life that she won't be there to share with.
Well, I think that...
Or support. I mean, she's a big support.
But I think, though, that you have to keep in mind that these people that we've lost, that they are here and they're with us, and that there's these, that they share these moments with us. They're just not physically here, I mean, look, I would like to think that, both your father and Lisa are up somewhere, and they
better be together,
and they're listening to our podcast. That somehow that they, maybe there's like, I don't know, it's probably not iTunes, but it is probably in the cloud, and that they're
in the cloud. Everybody's in the cloud.
They're in the clouds, and that they're able to, and that she's able to see what you're doing, and is cheering you on.
Oh, she would have loved this. She would have loved this podcast. I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, let's, cause I get very emotional when I talk about Lisa. So, and appreciate your friends and your loved ones. And really, that old cliche where they say, live today like it's your last, when you say goodbye to somebody, make sure they know how you feel. Cause it could be the last time you see them. So, and and it's weird because it wasn't until I got old and started, I always expected I'd lose my parents, that my parents would pass away. But I never really thought about losing friends. And that's really a totally different experience, So, it's not pleasant, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that I've lost any friends. I mean, there's definitely people that went to high school with me that have passed away, but not necessarily anyone that I was like really close with, So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a good thing, is just to.
But you wait. You'll find when you do, eventually, something will happen to somebody that God forbid, but it will happen, and it's a totally different experience than losing your parents, or losing your sibling. I lost my brother.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ever close to him, but it's very weird. It's very weird to, it's like we're the same age, and seriously, like he's gone, and it's just very strange. Anyway, enough about death. We'll talk about that in another episode.
People are going to be like, oh my God, is this the death episode?
I know. It's morbid and depressing.
Do you have anything else?
I did want to share this one thing. I know we're probably never going to get on topic today, so
maybe this isn't.
It's not a topic.
Maybe
day.
It's not a topic day.
I saw this really cool. Speaking of death, what a great segue! I saw this really cool.
These chairs are very uncomfortable. By the way,
I know they're horrible.
Like I keep trying to adjust.
There's no way to adjust.
I mean, it is really because my butt.
Nancy neighbor needs to help me fix them. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe,
I am struggling here.
I know. Maybe a pillow on top of it.
When is she
or a board?
When is she spending the night?
I don't know. It's gonna be a while because they're moving, and they're going to need to get settled where they are.
I cannot wait to have her on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll get her liquored up, right?
Maybe me and you can lick her up.
Stop it. Okay. So anyway, I saw this really cute news story yesterday. It was this Irishman. It was his funeral. You probably didn't see it.
No, actually, I did see it. And I didn't watch it, but I did see a post about it that he had recorded like a message or something.
Yeah. And the message was, "Hello, let me out of here. Let me out of here. Open this up. Let me out of here." That was his last recorded message. So that, and here all these people are standing around his gravesite, and the coffin is in the ground. It's not covered.
That sounded like a car accident outside.
I know. And you hear that, "Hello, let me out of here. Anybody there? Let me out. Come on, let me out."
Did everyone?
I just thought it was funny. I mean, that's a perfect ending to, especially when people are all teared up and, ready to cry, and now you make them laugh. I think that's great.
Did he know that he was dying? Did we find out that?
I don't know if he knew he was dying, but he recorded this specifically for his death. So whether or not he knew he was dying or he was maybe elderly and figured at some point, but apparently he was a prankster. So
what a genius! It's like that episode of there's that great episode.
Could I do that coming out of an urn?
I think it's different.
I'll get I'll get a tinny knock.
I think it's different. Or you know what they could do? You know what would be fun is if they cremated you except for your hand and your vocal cords, and those just got put in a box.
Okay. No. I was just thinking it might be fun to record something like that, but I plan to be cremated. It's cheaper. And I figure, you're gonna, it's gonna be more like this. A knock like that instead of a knock like that. I'm not knocking on the wooden casket. I'm knocking on the walls of the
urn.
Of the urn, yeah.
But the creepy thing though is that if you're like ash, then how are you knocking?
Well, maybe, I don't know.
See,
I don't know. All right, so you're thinking too much.
But it's like that. It's like there's that great episode of Frasier where they have like a video camera and they say to Martin, to their father, "So we want to film you, and whatever." And
for posterity.
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 I think posterity
is it prostate?
Yeah, I think that's what the doctors look at.
Yeah. Wait till you have one of those, you'll love it.
And he goes, "Well, okay, and I just want to tell you where I buried the money.
The money is in."
It's and then he pretends that
That's cute.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's tough, right? Like, I think that death is one of those things that is so, it's sad and it's emotional and it's, but if you can find a way to maybe lighten it up a little.
Well, that's
bit.
why I said I think that I think that the way he went about it was funny. Again, you're saying your last goodbye. You may be in tears. You may be close to tears. And now there's this recorded message. And you don't even know. But there were some people that had very surprised looks on their face.
I hope that
maybe they really knew, or maybe they really thought that he was alive. And so they really were like, "Oh my God, let's open up the coffin and get him out of there. This is all just a big joke." So,
God, could you imagine? Like if that was a joke?
That's not a great joke.
That's horrible, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was funny when I saw it. I thought, I want to share that on the podcast for those of you who have not seen it.
Did you see there was a man who died, and at his funeral they had him I don't know what they did. I don't know if it was a Puerto Rican man, and at his funeral he was fully dressed and he was propped up in a chair.
Kind of like Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, and you could take
Did he have strings tied to his hands?
And he had his legs crossed and he had a cigarette in his hand.
Yeah, and you could take pictures
and you could take photos next to him. Yeah, I'm serious.
Did they charge people? Did they charge you to take the photo?
He's propped up in a chair holding a cigarette with his eyes open at his own funeral. That was the...
All right, I'm going to look at this right now. He doesn't look like he's dead, but that's creepy.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, that's too creepy. I don't think I'd want to. I mean, I've been around only one.
He was 26. He was shot dead outside his home. His family chose to bid him farewell just as he was in life. And there is apparently a funeral home known for their unconventional services. They sat him in a chair dressed in sports gear with his legs crossed holding a cigarette.
And where was this? What state was this in?
I think it was Puerto Rico. They also decided to keep his eyes open as a surprise to the family. Didn't even tell them that.
Wow. Surprise!
Oh, he was shot 15 times.
Ooh, he looked pretty good. They must not have gotten him on the head.
No, it was probably all the
innards.
Yeah.
All right, enough death stuff. Let's go on. And if you want, I've got lots of 90-day fiancé crap. But why don't you do your housekeeping? Because I don't know.
All right, so this was a so I woke up the other morning and I had a very nice voice. So on the phones you can send voice voice memos. I'll have to show you how to do that. So essentially, like in a text message, you can send someone like a voice message, and you can hit play, and then it's like a little recorded message from them, and then it disappears in like 2 minutes after you listen or something.
Yeah, you think it disappears, but it doesn't really.
Right, Apple keeps them.
That's right.
And studies them.
Yes, that's right. It's somewhere.
Right.
It's somewhere and it's accessible to somebody. But
Right.
That's
okay. So you're gonna really like where this is going.
Yes.
So one of our listeners, Jenny, she messaged me. She sent me this, and she was so proud of herself that she came up with this great idea. Having, it was kind of this story about. I think she said it was her brother or her brother-in-law or her sister or sister-in-law. It was a sibling or a sibling-in-law. And what she had said was that they did this thing with their phones because they noticed that they would have conversations and they would say things, and then those things would pop up like on like a sponsored post on like Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they did this whole thing where they don't own cats. They never had cats. So they like put their phones down in front of them, and they carried on this whole conversation, I guess, for a day or a couple days, where they would talk about cat food.
Yeah.
And by the end of the week, they were getting all these like sponsored ads on like Instagram and Facebook.
Wasn't that creepy?
About cat food. So she said that she thought it would be really great because that goes hand in hand in what we were talking about kind of during episode 7, I think, the great technology debate.
They're lazying. Yeah, they're
lazying.
They're lazying to us.
Listening.
They're listening to us for sure.
And that she was just like, oh, that would be like a really fun thing to present on the podcast. And I was like, all right, fuck shit, whatever, So I sat back and I thought about a word or a series of words that we could talk about. And you have your phone in front of you, I have my phone in front of me, that we could talk about it. We could see then if anything changes over the course of like the next week on our phone. So obviously we can't use cats or cat food because you have cats and you've talked about cat food. We can't really use dogs or dog food because that, so I was really racking my brain for a second, and I came up with something that we could have a quick conversation.
I can't wait to hear it.
And just see if we get any sponsored posts about it.
All right,
okay?
So what is it?
Edible underwear. Okay.
90-day fiance.
No, edible underwear.
I know, but you didn't see it. Caesar took edible underwear to Cancun to put on his.
But that was all made. It was all made
his
up.
Catfisher.
Yeah, that was all made up. You said that was all made up.
I know, but there were pictures of the edible underwear. It was a big deal.
Right.
On top of that, he had the nerve to take it back home with him when he left Cancun to go back.
Maybe he wanted to try it on.
I think he wants to use it at some point still, but
100%.
I don't think he understands that stuff like that has a expiration date.
Does edible underwear have an expiration date?
It's got to.
What is it? I've never had it or eaten it.
I haven't either.
Do you know what it's made out of?
I don't know. I have no idea. Chocolate. I guess they could make it out of chocolate, or I'm thinking more like like maybe a licorice type material.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do they make it out of?
Like.
Did you do any research on it?
Like Red Vines is partnered up with.
No. Like like a fruit. Like a fruit roll.
Like a fruit by the foot.
Yeah.
It just wrapped all around the vagina.
Well, no. But it's got that. It's got that soft yet sticky texture.
that adheres to the privates?
I guess it would adhere. I don't know. I've never tried it. But a fruit roll-up, it's got, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's thin, it's lightweight.
All right, well, there's a company called Candy Pants.
Good old Candy Pants.
And apparently they began experimenting with potato starch and different chemicals in a spare bedroom, attempting to make an edible fabric.
In a spare bedroom? Why would they do it in a bedroom?
Because if you got like chemicals and shit, you don't want to do that in the place where you sleep.
I guess, but don't you need like heat? Aren't you cooking stuff?
Eventually they found an edible film.
See? Yeah, I
like
know.
I was going through puberty right
you
there.
You were, kind of.
Eventually...
reverse puberty.
Eventually they found an edible film that had been designed to wrap frozen turkeys.
Ew.
And used it to fashion licorice-laced briefs.
Boy,
They called Candy Pants.
I could have got into that business.
So... Wait,
Candy Pants.
Was that just a guess or did you know?
No, that was just a guess. I mean, I'm just thinking of the texture and the durability, licorice. Well, because chocolate's going to melt. If somebody really put them on, as soon as you put that chocolate onto your bottom, if you have an edible underwear, somebody's going to have to lick it off like real soon.
Well, and especially, yeah. I mean,
and a mess too. I mean, you can't sit down.
You can't, yeah. If you have white sheets, forget about it. Then it'll just look like there's poop in your bed.
I know, that's gross.
That's a whole new problem.
That's right. So yeah, I just kind of figured, but I like the fruit roll up thing too, because that would be the consistency that you would want, that, film, that kind of thin film. But so where is this going to show up now? We're going to talk about.
Well, we're going to have to get Instagram installed on your phone.
Okay, but so here's the thing, is that's creepy. That you and I can just, I mean, is it something we have to talk about it by our phone? Is that what they did? Just talk about it?
Yeah, so you have to have your phone by you. See, now I've already...
So now do we have to have like a real conversation about it? Or can we just be like, hey, Josh, edible underwear, edible underwear, edible underwear?
No, I mean, I think that it has to be somewhat of a...
I mean, is the artificial intelligence going to figure out that we're trying to trick them?
No, I think that, okay, so my phone's already compromised because I've Googled now for the first time in my life, what is edible underwear made out of?
Yeah.
But this will be
compromised. Listen to you. You sound like a friggin' spy. My phone has been compromised.
My phone's been compromised.
Oh my God.
So now we have to, so we'll download Instagram on your phone. We'll get the My Mom Sandy account up and running. And then essentially what could end up happening is if you're on Instagram or you're scrolling, and I can check my phone too.
We'll get all sorts of ads for edible underwear.
Well, there'll be like a sponsored ad, and it could be like, oh, are you looking to get...
What is it called? Fancy pants? What are they called?
Candy Pants.
Candy Pants.
Candy Pants.
That makes sense.
So just give me like, give me like a couple sentences about edible underwear right now.
Yum, yum. It's so good, edible underwear. God, I can't even imagine eating that off somebody. Who wants to do that? But okay, I guess.
Like, what would you do if what's his name came over and you guys were like...
I would say don't waste time on the underwear. If you're really going to eat down there, eat something important.
No, but if he had it on.
Oh. Yeah. Again, I feel like it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's kind of a cute little, cute little sex type thing to try to
edible underwear.
Be different and, spice things up a bit. But yeah, but to be honest with you, it's pretty impractical. Again, if you're going to be down there, why would you want to eat? And licorice stuff, I mean, what do you take bite and I mean, it's like tough to chew. I mean,
seems opposite of romantic.
I know.
Seems very unromantic.
I know. It's like, what? I don't know. I guess, maybe it'd be fun to like rip them off. They'd probably rip off very easily,
But I mean, I like licorice though.
Yeah, but, eating licorice is one thing. Having sex is another.
Yeah.
So it's like, It's kind of like do one or the other. You know, you're not gonna be pounding away eating a piece of red vine.
Pounding, like just a jackhammer, huh?
I don't know how they do how the kids do it these days.
They just pound it away.
Again, I don't know how the kids do it these days, but that's kind of an interesting well, we'll have to see how, I don't know. We'll see that would be a very interesting experiment. So they found that they had lots of cat food.
They had lots of cat food ads that came up. So now that we've talked about, so I'll give my sense.
See, now, is that not scary to think that somewhere somebody, I mean, because,
so what my understanding of it is that, cause I was talking to someone about this.
Are they iPhones?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it matters though. So I think what my understanding of it is.
Well, I know that Google Play does. I mean, if you use Google, like whoever the Google person is, like the Siri person for Google, I don't know who it is.
I think it's just Google, but I don't think
Google do this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to answer you to Google.
I know, but once you ask Google, then apparently that then triggers the tape recording of all future talk that goes on.
So what my understanding of certain apps, right? Because you have a microphone on your phone.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
I should cover that.
Well, so what my understanding is that when people use apps like Facebook or Instagram or, Facebook owns Instagram, I believe, is that,
oh, I hate Facebook, but go ahead.
Well, so there's a thing that you have to, like, there's, terms, right?
I gotta tell you, I'm not happy about
You're not gonna let me finish.
No, I will, but I
just
want to say this. It's so discouraging for me to know that there's no other options besides the whole bunch of them. The Google, the Facebook.
So you just move further from your mic.
Okay, the Google. It's because I'm getting worked up. The Googles.
You gotta remember where the mic is.
The Googles. By the way, we have these really fun little things on today.
What are they called?
It's supposed to be I don't know. It says blue.
It's called a pop filter.
A pop filter.
Okay,
so my P's
don't do that.
should sound much better now. Apparently they were offending somebody.
They were a little poppy.
A little poppy by P's. Anyway, where was I going? I just wish there was an alternative to all the Googles and the Facebooks. It's like, so they're all like in bed with each other. They're all connected in some sort of way. So, but go ahead. So now what? Your understanding is?
People listening are going to be like, oh, here he goes again. So my understanding is that Facebook, apps like Facebook and Instagram, and Facebook owns Instagram, you have to, before you start using it, you have to agree to terms. So one of the terms is that Facebook or Instagram
can record you.
No, they can use they can use your microphone whenever they want.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So
well, I tell you something. People, I mean, I'm hearing it all over the place now, and people are tuning Facebook off. And I noticed that I don't see many posts. There's a few people that I still see on my account that post. The others, they just don't post it anymore. And I think that's invasive. That's invading privacy. I mean,
it's hard because, it's kind of what we were talking about the other week, which is, there's so many things now. It's like, for example, I have a Facebook account. I don't post on it. I don't use it that much. I'll go on and I'll check like birthdays.
And who would know that's, I mean, seriously, if you sat and read the terms of agreement for every friggin' thing you sign up for, you'd never be off the computer. I don't, so they give you the option. Oh yeah, they say, read this carefully. But who would know that? I wouldn't know that.
Right. But that's where they get you it's like, well, here's a 65-page thing of terms.
Fuck you, Facebook.
Oh.
There you go.
Tell them.
Saying
yeah, say it. There goes the podcast.
Why? What do they have to do with the podcast?
I don't know. But so
if they take us off, that just proves that they're fucked up.
They're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Say it.
Say it, motherfuckers. They are. I mean, oh God, it's just and all for what? What's their purpose? So that they can sell more products?
Yeah, so that's what it is. So that companies are buying ad space with Facebook and Instagram and those kind of things. And then as a result, Facebook is then recording, our conversation about edible underwear, or candy pants or licorice based pants. panties.
Panties.
And then Facebook is going, oh, well, here, these people like...
They like edible underwear, so
underwear.
let's give them some ads.
So we have to, so then we'll show them the top 5 edible underwear companies.
Or maybe we don't like the fact that they like edible underwear, so we'll try to steer them clear of that and get them into something else.
Unedible
it's called
underwear.
Programming. It's called artificial intelligent programming. They're trying to program who they are. Who we are. They're trying to make us into what they want us to be.
Well, that's, I mean...
And maybe we'll believe everything they tell us.
That was like what I talked to you about the other day. There's a thing on Netflix called The Great Hack, and we talked about that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that.
People have data points associated with them, and companies are collecting data. I mean, look, every time you go on Google and you search something, that data is being collected, and then it's later on being used.
I know, but it's different. It's different when they're collecting data on the computer screen rather than audio recording what you're saying. I mean, that means that there's no fucking privacy. There's no fucking privacy.
But I think
that's disgusting.
Yeah, but
it's disgusting that's what this world has come to.
Yeah.
It really is.
And then what they're trying to do, what this Netflix thing talks about, and it's funny, my friend Peter, actually, I spoke with him on the phone. He said him and his girlfriend just watched it. But he was saying it's that thing where they're trying to sway people and influence people.
You're probably getting something right now about edible underwear.
Oh, look, edible underwear, 20% off on candypants.com now.
Just mentioned My Mom Sandy podcast.
God, what if through all this we get like an email from Candy Pants and they're like, hey, we love that you guys are customers. We love the podcast. We'll do My Mom Sandy at checkout.
There you go.
And then all our listeners start wearing licorice-based underwear.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Like we'll be out, someone will see Sandy sighting and they'll just pull down their jeans a little bit just to show you a red vine licorice.
That's right, thong.
Look, Sandy.
Really, red vine licorice would make the perfect thong too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the world we live in, and I think what's scary.
Here's the deal. You keep saying that's just the world we live in, but it's only the world we live in because nobody stands up and says this is wrong.
Well, that's what this Great Hack thing on Netflix, you got to watch it, is about. Is this guy says?
I'm telling everybody, watch it because you guys are going to be in trouble. I know, but I understand the principle, and what I really feel is that society as a whole is going to be in trouble because the big tech companies have control over everything that we think, that we do. They can influence anything they want.
Right.
And you know what? Fuck them. They don't get to do that.
Right. But the situation,
we need to be individuals.
Yes.
We need to think freely. We need to be able to not be recorded every time we speak.
But where it gets scary though, and this is what I had spoke with my friend Peter about.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
No, please don't. Not on air, at least.
Well, that could be a good show.
Top selling episode.
Sandy's heart attack. My mom Sandy died.
On the death episode.
Really?
Oh God.
Final episode.
So what we were talking about is that, you know, we all grew up in a time which you didn't have to worry about these things. So I don't think that any of us here are easily influenced by seeing an ad or seeing this. I think what gets scary is about the children that are coming up now who they only know tech. They only know iPhones and iPads and Facebooks. They were born into a world where Facebook was normal. Yeah. You know, we all remember a time before Facebook, so it's like, whatever. MySpace.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we remember a time before the internet.
Before we had cell phones. We had cell phones where they were like...
They were huge.
Big, huge
bricks.
Really.
Like carrying a brick in your pocket.
You couldn't carry one in your purse. Unless you had a weight on the other side to balance you out. Yeah, I know. You know what? It's just wrong. It's wrong. It's an invasion of privacy. And again, using that invasion of privacy to try to mold you and make you into what they think you should be. And I don't know, man. It's not right. Not right.
It's not. And that's what this guy talks about, is that he talks about, he wants to know what these companies are using his data for. And that's his whole thing, is that like, hey, look, if you're going to that there is privacy laws and there is this, and that he wants his data to be kept, kind of from these companies. It's been a little bit since I watched it, so that might not be entirely right, but it is it's an interesting watch. And I think that, if people haven't seen it, it's called The Great Hack. It's on Netflix. It talks a lot about the Cambridge Analytica thing. It talks about our presidential election. It talks about elections in other countries that tech companies have gotten involved and influence voters and influence people to do things that maybe they would not have done normally. Like we might finish up this episode and buy a couple pairs of edible underwear.
Well, we might be forced to.
We might be forced to.
We might be bombarded by.
Now, what if it just showed up at our house?
No, that would be very strange.
Scary.
That would mean that Amazon's listening. Who owns Amazon?
I think Amazon.
Google?
No, I think Amazon's a big enough company. They said something like that guy paid no taxes last year, and that if he paid his taxes, it would have been enough money to like cure world hunger like 10 times over or something.
And what the guy who owns Amazon?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, and what fucking kills me and what fucking kills me is that these people are all for socialism. So why don't you give your fucking millions to the government and or to poor people?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
To take care of them. Oh, no. Don't get me started again.
I know, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Heart fucking attack.
All right, stop having a heart attack. All right, so you got places you got to go. You got things you got to do.
Yeah, did you have any other housekeeping though? We did
No,
get a few
I just
more
wanted to do
5 stars, and we had a nice comment from somebody about
people love the podcast.
About how great we are.
How great we are.
You listen, we love reading that kind of stuff. So
you like it more than I do.
And here's another little tidbit for everybody before we sign off. Before it's all right, very good time. We have the ability.
That should be a shirt. It's all right, very good time.
Yeah, all right, very good time. We have the ability on our podcast stuff to look to see where we're being listened to. And we actually have a listener in Australia. Like, I was so jazzed when I saw that, because most of it's Canada and United States. Actually, we had some Indonesia for a while, but she better get back. She better get back on the podcast. So
if she ever wants to be a guest when she comes to visit, she better start listening again.
Shout out to Nikki.
I think though that, the Australia thing could have been someone in Australia, but it could have also been someone who was traveling to Australia.
I know, that's why I asked if you knew anybody who'd been there lately.
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of cool to see that. They actually show you like a world map, and they'll like, color out a certain portion of a country
where the people are listening.
Yeah, where the people are listening. So that's very cool. Anyway, I do have things to do. I've got an appointment coming up in just about 20 minutes.
Oh my God. All right, guys. So again, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you guys all for the support.
And we'll give you a report next week on how much edible underwear verbiage we're getting.
Yeah. So Jenny will keep you updated on the edible underwear spam, and we'll let you know if any of that comes through. Also, you guys, make sure that if you are listening and you enjoy it, go ahead and give us a rating and a review on whatever podcast service you're listening to this on. Also, make sure that you guys hit us up on Instagram at My Mom Sandy Podcast. And you guys can find, I actually just posted your prom photo because we talked about growing up Sandy.
Oh, I found another one. I don't know if I think it might be at my mother's house.
Bring it. We'll post it.
I look so cute. I tell you, I was pretty hot. Back then.
Yeah. Getting after it. So, if you guys want to find out like all things Sandy and everything that's kind of going on or anything we talk about, usually we'll post stories and photos of all that. And if you guys can't get a hold of us on there, or you don't have Instagram because you're afraid they're listening to you, you guys can always drop us an email.
I know, because you have to you have to agree to their terms and conditions. Fuck your terms and conditions, but go ahead.
Okay, you guys can also always drop us an email. mymomsandypodcast@gmail.com.
At Gmail. Guess who that is?
I'm sure Google's not reading our email.
Google? Oh no, they probably have it stored somewhere too. Don't they have that big storage unit back there in Utah somewhere?
Yeah, this is turning into the greatest conspiracy theory.
I know. It's not a conspiracy theory. It really fucking is conspiracy.
It's really going on.
That's right.
No
theory here, just truth.
I've got nothing else. So, and you guys, and this is just a reminder, for Mikey D on the East Coast, you guys can listen to a brand new episode of My Mom Sandy every Tuesday. Time fluctuates a little bit just depending on what we have going on, but usually daytime.
Yeah, I know you guys think all we do is sit around and wait for time to podcast.
We just wait for the next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like we were supposed to do this yesterday, but it didn't work out. So
because today's Tuesday.
Because today's Tuesday.
This will drop today.
Yeah, and so happy Tuesday. And I didn't get to talk about the 90-Day Fiancé thing, but Teresa, we'll get to that next week because it's tell-all time. Finale.
And they're telling all, so get ready.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway,
we have some really exciting episodes coming up to finish out the month, and this was kind of a little kind of open topic.
Yeah, we may have a lot of those.
So anyway, thank you guys again for listening. Again, we appreciate the support so much, Mom.
All right, very good.